Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our weekly multi-platform service at Tri-County Unitarian Universalists, based in Summerfield, Florida. We acknowledge that we occupy the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the indigenous Florida peoples. I am Trish Schwartzberg, your service leader for today. Hello to our members and friends, and a special welcome to anyone who is visiting us for the first time. Unitarian Universalists are united not by a creed of beliefs, but by a covenant of shared values. We celebrate that we do not need to think alike to love alike. It is our respect and encouragement of each other's diversity of thought that truly binds us together. If you haven't seen that, come to a forum. For the curious and for the seekers, Unitarian Universalist values in the covenant may be found in your order surface and some things on the back and in our hymnal. Also on our website. On our website, our newsletter and the timetable can be found under News and Events. We have a couple of announcements, but please first mute your phone or put it on airplane mode. If you're here today expecting to see our Reverend Christina Spouty, she'll be in the pulpit next week. Please stay after today's service for our monthly bagel breakfast. Tri-UU is starting a peer grief support group this week. The first meeting will be Tuesday, January 27th at 10:30 a.m. We'll meet here in this room. This is an opportunity for mutual sharing and encouragement. If you're interested in this group and you haven't signed up yet, be sure to see Lenore yes, thank you, today. Our annual rummage sale is fast approaching. Donations will be accepted the first week of February, and that's not very far away, on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 to 3 o'clock. The 3-day sale is scheduled on Thursday, February 5th, from 9:30 to 3, 9 to 3, Friday, February 6th, 9 to 3, and Saturday, February the 7th, 9 to 12. More details and a volunteer sign-up sheets can be found on the table right behind AV. Please promote this fundraiser via your various social networks. This concludes our announcements, and it has now been again the service proper. We will recite our mission statement. Please join with your voice as we recite together. We unite in religious community to seek spiritual growth, live with integrity, and service passion. Our chalice keeper today is India Cothran, first timer. We invite those of you who are joining us on Zoom to light your chalice at home.
Good morning. Chalice reading for this morning comes from one of our dear presidents, Theodore Roosevelt. Profanity is the parlance of the fool. Why curse when there is such a magnificent language with which to do discourse?
Prelude. Thank you, choir. That was beautiful this morning. We have a guest minister. I think most of you probably recognize his face. Steve Burt is a retired pastor, seminary professional, national small church consultant, and author of more than 40 books. A member of TriUU for a dozen years, Steve served on the ministerial internship committee for 4 years with 3 different interns, Tracy, Christine, and Joe. He was on the nominating, safety, and stewardship committees and taught theology courses here and in the village's lifelong learning and enrichment academy adult edge programs. He has filled our pulpit once or twice a year for over a decade and was the auctioneer for many of our former church auction fundraisers. He's been active in the TriUU men's golf group and Thursday morning old guys breakfast. He earns his keep around here by setting up tables and chairs and cleaning dishes at potluck suppers. In December, Reverend Dr. Burt briefly reclaimed a former identity as New York's celebrated Christmas story pastor, reading from and donating copies of his 2001 bestseller, A Christmas Dozen, for a TriUU fundraiser. But Steve points out that the thing that people are most impressed by on his resume is the fact that he is married to Jolyn Johnson Burt.
Get one of these for my funeral, and I'm just going to have them lay me right across here, up and down. In her book, Simple Abundance, a day book of comfort and joy, Sarah Ban Breathnock wrote, "Usually when the distractions of daily life deplete our energy, the first thing we eliminate is the thing we need the most: quiet, reflective time. Time to dream, time to contemplate what's working and what's not, so that we can make changes for the better. I invite you to a moment of centering, a few precious seconds to clear your mind and find a stillness, to listen for whatever wisdom speaks to you and me from below, beneath, and beyond the noise of the world and the sound of our own voices."
I'd like to ask everyone to please stand and join in singing hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, do I pull this thing down? Do I stand it up? Yeah. There you go. Okay, you all know I'm a hooker. There's no sense in giggling about it anymore. It's a fact. I have donated 2 of my rugs that are on the back table that are being auctioned off. I just gave them to the church. I said, I don't have any room for them anymore in our house, and so it's just a gift. So you are welcome to take a chance on winning, and I'm not sure when they're going to have the raffle, but at some time after we're gone. But this isn't about, okay, this isn't about my rugs, it's about the rug that's located in the wall on the front entranceway.
Got a visual?
That,
There
yeah,
you go.
that one. Many of the old comers, the old timers have heard the story before, but I just want to make sure the newcomers know the story as well. There are many levels of rug hookers. I am above average, but far from a master hooker. I usually buy patterns that are pre-printed on linen and then select the colors, cut the wool, etc. Gifted hookers do it differently. They design their own rugs, dye the wool themselves, and create as they go along. The hooker of Try You Use Rug, my longtime friend Judy Phillips, is the one who got me into hooking, did just that. So this is the story behind Try You Use hooked wall hanging. One summer, while Steve and I were in Maine, Judy came to visit. I asked what she was working on, and she pulled this unfinished rug out of her trunk. It was one of her usual masterpieces, but she wasn't sure what to title it. The phrase, "birds of a feather flock together," didn't make sense. These birds were all different. Steve pointed out that our Florida church was like that. Birds of different feathers working together. We made our point by showing Judy our bumper sticker, which once read "Coexist." Judy exclaimed, "That's it. That's the name I was looking for." The next year she came back to Maine to show us the finished product. I asked what she was going to do with it, telling her it would be perfect in our church, and she said, "Fine, it's yours." Kind of like what I'm doing here. Kind of like me handing you 2 rugs before we leave because we just don't have room for them. Only Judy's rug, that Try You wall hanging, is much more valuable. I brought it back that fall and asked Nancy Solberg for ideas about what to do with it. During the summer, Try You's beloved pianist, Phyllis Sharp, passed away. She not only loved birds, but had traveled the world as a bird watcher. So the choir at that time suggested we dedicate it to Phyllis. It was further suggested we auction it off at our annual church auction with the intention of donating it back to the church in her honor. Two of our late members, Bob Armstrong and Carol Jackson, accomplished that, each donating $500. And so the coexist birds of different feathers, hooked wall hanging, graces the wall of our entranceway today. You can see the photo here, but stop sometime and look at it. Feel it, see the brilliant artistry as well as the theme. Judy drew these freehand directly on the linen, a masterpiece. And it's so you. We don't all have to look alike or think alike to love alike and work together for the greater good.
As we move deeper into our service, let us turn inward to consider transitions, the joys, sorrows, and concerns we all experience in our life's journey. There are 3 bowls of stones down here of different colors, representing the gratitude of joy, the grief of sorrow, and the hope of concern. After those who are present have placed their stones in the water, our ushers will place stones from each of the bowls into the water on behalf of those who are not physically here or able to come to the front. Those online are invited to type into the chat to express what is in your heart. When all the stones have been mingled in the water and have been shared, excuse me, we will take a moment for silent meditation or prayer. As the sound of the bells bring us back into community, we will sing our response, voice still and small. But first, in consideration of what's happened, I would like to read to you the words from our UUA president, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt. God of many names and one abundant love, on this day as we once again grieve in horror at the mindless and morally corrupt murder of yet another observer in South Minneapolis, help us to stay connected to one another. Help us to prepare our resistance for the long haul. Keep the strains of protest songs alive in our hearts for the coming weeks, months, and years. We will sing together until our songs are songs of victory and our children know themselves to be safe and whole. The ushers may now come forward and everybody come. moment of silence, we will sing together, voice still and small after I ring the bells. A sharing of abundance is presented to us by Liz Purdue this morning.
Good morning. I am Liz Purdue. My wife, Sally Bethart, was not able to join us today, but is here in spirit. It is truly an honor to stand here today and share why Tri-UU holds such a special place in our hearts. Like many of you, we have found something special here, something that goes beyond a gathering place or just a Sunday service. Tri-UU is a true sanctuary. In fact, we love Tri-UU's new nickname, Sanity Island. Here on Sanity Island, everyone belongs, no matter their background, beliefs, or quirks. And let's be honest, we all have a few quirks, right? Much like the castaways on Gilligan's Island, we all arrived here after navigating some pretty rough seas. Life, work, the news, the world. When we finally land on Sanity Island, we remember who we are and regain our balance before heading back out to resist even more. Finding this diverse, open-minded congregation has given us a safe space where we are seen, heard, valued, and embraced. From the moment we walked through the door, we felt that inclusivity and acceptance from every single person in the congregation that day. The first service we attended after the last election, Sally and I were sitting there in stunned silence, planning our move to Canada. At the end of the service, we felt someone hugging us from behind. It was a very awkward feeling. We didn't know anybody, but warm embrace on both sides of us, sitting right there. Turned around, and Connie Haberkamp was kneeling on the floor and hugging both of us. She looked me in the eyes and said, "You know we're here for you, don't you?" Yeah, still feel that way to this day. Changed our life. Sally was immediately ready to join Tri-UU after having been reluctant for so long. So thank you, Connie. But to fast forward, we became members of Tri-UU in October 2023. Soon after, Reverend Cynthia asked Sally and me to be the welcoming congregation arm of the Social Justice Committee. So, of course, we said yes. And then we found that, we were supposed to do some things to get our congregation certified by the national organization by meeting 5 criteria that say that you are a welcoming congregation, everybody is included. So I know we're short on time, but I need to tell you all this because this explains it all. I had never read this before. This is on the UUA.org website where they talk about the welcoming congregation, where it came from, what it means now. So I'm going to read from that website that the Unitarian Universalist Association has been on record since 1970 as supporting the rights and worth of lesbian, gay, and bisexual persons. Trans was not part of that conversation then. The lived experience of these people in UU congregations spoke a different painful path. Now, let me tell you, this is a 21-page report, typical boring reports with lots of bar graphs and explanations of how we did it and who we asked and why we asked and things like that. 21 pages. These are you people. Please listen carefully. The report in 1989 exposed many negative attitudes, deep prejudices, and profound ignorance about bisexual, gay, and lesbian people, which resulted in the exclusion of bisexual, gay, and lesbian people from UU congregations. 1989, that report was published. And it's sad, but I have to tell you this. Quoting from the congregants that answered this survey, but they were UU members. Quote, I totally disagree that these principles apply to the mentally ill, which I believe gays and lesbians to be. If it continues, I am no longer a UUA member. Yeah, but listen to this one. Their sexual behavior is abnormal and disgusting, no matter what they say. Compassionate counseling is needed for such people. I think everyone would be happier if you all stayed, quote, in the closet. I would leave a church headed by a gay or lesbian minister. This reality troubled many people who were committed to making UU congregations welcoming or inclusive places, citing the principles, of course, especially the one that affirms the inherent worth and dignity of every person. So in 1989, the General Assembly voted to initiate the Welcoming Congregation program. So we were asked, we took it on, did the paperwork, and found out that, people are, even churches in Gainesville and other big cities around us don't do it every year, but Sally and I are committed to doing this. So we held our first Pride celebration in 2025, 32 allies in attendance. Thank you so much. Sally and I are the committee, and of course that means that since she's working, I am the committee. I would love some help. Some of you, and I won't name names because I don't want to leave anybody out, but many people in this congregation were so helpful. I was a nervous wreck last year, so I appreciate that. But we would like to have somebody, particularly a straight ally. You know, we don't like to single y'all out. We accept you as you are, but we would like to have a straight ally on our committee. So get more serious, because these times are serious. No matter what challenges are unfolding in the world outside, Tri-UU remains a steady and safe refuge for us. Sanity Island reminds us that love, justice, and kindness are not just words. They're how we choose to live. This community nourishes us and helps us remember that we're not alone on this island or any other island as well. That's why it's so important that we continue to support Tri-UU, not with our presence, but with our resources. Even on Gilligan's Island, somebody had to keep things running, right? Giving financially is another way of saying we believe in this place, and we want it here for the next person who washes ashore needing hope. So today, we invite you to reflect on Tri-UU, your Sanity Island, what it means to you. If this community has given you belonging or strength, our peace, let's work together to ensure it does for generations to come. Because places like this don't just happen, they're built, nurtured, and sustained by all of us. Thank you.
Obviously, I'm not Pat, but I tried to bring a little color here so you would at least remember who she is. Okay. All right. So this was our last week rainbow. Sorry, sunshine rainbow. We are being able to add 2 more layers. Great news, we are up to 90,000. Bad news, we need 190,000. So, since Liz mentioned quirks, I want to tell you one of my quirks. I am fearful of change and newness. Does anybody else have that little apprehension of doing something a little different? Okay, so I just want to share with you, I decided to see what it was like to do an online pledge this time around. And my number one concern was that my pledges automatically come from my bank. So I don't have to remember to think about writing the check, so it's an automatic thing. And I was fearful that I was gonna have to do something funky on the website to make that happen. So I'm like, okay, let's just see. So what you do is you go on the website, tryuu.org, and in the upper right-hand corner, there are these little lines. In the right-hand corner, you just click on them. And either the sixth down or the next to the last on the bottom is the word donate. You click on the donate button, and the first thing that pops up says pledge online. And you just click on it. And then you fill out the exact same form that you would do in real life, but you just type it, and then hit the word submit. And it's completely done. It doesn't ask you where the money's coming from, which was my concern, like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to change? It's just like 1, 2, 3, boom. And I know every single one of you in here, I made an assumption, I think every single one of you in here has a telephone. So if you want me to show you how to do it, I can show you. It takes 2 seconds. So hopefully you will keep on pledging, because we need another $100,000. Jerry says, do it, the pledge.
Find my place. Now is the time that we collect our, I can't find my place, here we go. We now receive our offering. If you're visiting for the first time, please do not feel obligated to give a donation this morning. You're here as our guests, and we're just glad to have you here. At this time, our ushers will come forward and we'll be putting in the basket. Be sure if you are paying towards your pledge, if you're giving cash or anything other than a check, make sure you write on a brown envelope, which is in the back, that your name and what it's for. Okay, ushers, thank you.
While we were talking about picking up the money, I thought, maybe we should start an Easy Pass system, and we can put the little clicker by the front door when you come in and just drive by, and your name tag could be your Easy Pass kind of thing. Just a thought. Okay. Pious Profanity. This weekend, I got an email from Reverend Christine Dance, pastor at Phoenix, one of our UU flagship congregations here in the U.S. Christine was the second of TriU's 3 exceptional and beloved ministerial interns. From 2014, I think, until 2020, TriUU was the top producer of UU ministers in Florida and maybe in the country. Christine informed me that she was responding to the call for clergy to go to Minneapolis to protest the present administration's Gestapo-like ICE occupation and abuse. She had to leave sunny Arizona and travel to a place with sub-zero temperatures. I said the word twice. I think it's sub-zero. Christine included a picture of her in severe weather clothing and a gas mask. It's on your screen, I think. And then later reported on Facebook that it is unimaginable how bad things are there, but how encouraged she is by the resistance to Trump's American fascism. I am so proud of Christine. She is a true Unitarian Universalist and an American willing to lay her life on the line. Did I say lay her life on the line? Yes, I did. It's that serious. And if Jolyn and I, old demonstrators that we are, were not in the midst of a Florida to New York move in 2 days, we'd be there arm in arm with Christine, with our lined jeans on. If you haven't heard me utter the phrase, sons of bitches, yet, it's not because I restrained myself from saying it out loud. You just weren't nearby at the right time. Because yesterday, a 37-year-old male ICU nurse, Alex Pretty, was shot to death at the hands of ICE agents while peacefully protesting. 2 weeks earlier, Renee Good was murdered there when ICE agents approached her car, and after intimidation, she tried to drive away. The present administration, well, no, let's call it what it is, the insane, cruel, repressive, vindictive administration, the president quickly said, without facts or footage, both shootings were justified. But videos are there for us to see, all of us. And if ICE had not been poking and prodding and provoking, there'd have been no flashpoint. The character assassination of both Renee Good and Alex Pretty, the justifying spin of the administration, began immediately. In a press conference shortly after the Renee Good shooting, the Minneapolis mayor took issue with an official account released by DHS on behalf of the ICE agents, which described officers as, quote, fearing for their life, end quote, before shooting into the victim's vehicle, trying to spin this as an act of self-defense. Mayor Jacob Fry said in a public statement, having seen the video myself, I want to tell everybody directly, this is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody getting killed. End of quote. And then the outraged mayor went on, he said, ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. What do you suppose the public's responses to his press statement were? For some, the mayor's words drew attention to the video and the incident, the unnecessary killing. Many, however, responded to the killing of Ms. Good with a yawn and a not my problem. Instead, they zeroed in on, guess what? The mayor's language. Oh my God, OMG, the mayor, that mayor, a public figure, dropped the F-bomb on TV. That's what upset them, not the situation or the death, but the language. The outraged Mayor Fry uttering two bad words, bullshit and the F-bomb. I grew up in a household with a cuss box. We had your 5-cent cuss words, and your 10-cent cuss words, your 25-cent cuss words, and the big 50-center. You cussed, you paid. I still owe my mom and dad's damn cuss box. Well, recently, Jolyn and I watched On Golden Pond on TV. Katharine Hepburn, Henry Fonda, they play an older couple, and he's having memory issues, and they return for yet another summer at their Maine summer camp. Their daughter, Jane Fonda, in this case, brings her new beau, Dabney Coleman, to visit, and they announce their engagement. How sweet. And then they kind of dump Dabney Coleman's preteen son, Billy, on the older couple for the summer so they can go off to Europe and celebrate their engagement. Curmudgeonly Norman Thayer, that's Henry Fonda, isn't happy, and young Billy is not happy either. I loved On Golden Pond when it debuted in 1981. 6 years later, when it came to TV, I pitched it as a masterpiece to my church members. One very religious member said she had seen it and she was turned off by the excessive profanity. Well, I didn't recall excessive swearing. What I recalled was that a cuss word had served as the bridge between grumpy old Norman Thayer and young, resentful at being dumped Billy. The start of a healing relationship for both of them. Remember that bridging scene? It's brilliant. Old Norman Thayer, Henry Fonda, says something outrageous, and young Billy, in disbelief, has had enough of the old fart's verbal crap. The kid mumbles almost under his breath, bullshit. And the old man furrows his brow as only Fonda can do, and he said, what? What did you say, boy? And Billy hems and he says defiantly, bullshit, man. I call bullshit. Old man Thayer appears to mull over the word, and then instead of responding with the expected elder lording it over youth condemnation, he replies, huh. Good word. Good word. The ice is broken, and having a cuss word function that way in a scene absolutely tickled me. It spoke to me about the unorthodox nature of grace and healing. I call bullshit, man. Good word. Good word. It's still one of our top 10 movies, especially as we get closer to those ages. But to satisfy my lady parishioner, I did pay closer attention to the movie when I rewatched it on TV. I realized that in thinking about profanity, my church lady was hearing it as a language issue. Cussing, cursing, swearing, but calling it a profanity issue. And to be honest, I believe there's a lot of good, even excellent cuss words out there. That's my position on it. Not all, but those that do not degrade people, because we have those words too. Yes, they're overused, and we probably should hold them for special occasions. But these words do give rise to something, don't they? Pain, anger, frustration, a need to battle powerlessness, when nothing else will quite do. So if we made up a list and voted to erase them from the language, new cuss words would be invented when people stubbed their toes and hit their thumbs with hammers and forgot their Apple passwords at a crucial time. So back to my church lady. While I concede that On Golden Pond contains some swearing, and while I agree that some words offend certain public standards, I argue that such words are not necessarily profanity. Swearing, yes. Profanity, no. She was like the many TV listeners who missed the point of Mayor Jacob Fry's cuss words. They were so upset by the language, they didn't take offense at the video or the profane overreach of Trump's and Kristi Noem's ICE Gestapo. Did you know that you can be a member of the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the KKK, or other racist white supremacist groups, or a militia member, or a Trump-pardoned January 6th Capitol insurrectionist, and get a $50,000 sign-up bonus for joining ICE, where you can practice your cruelty under the umbrella sanctioning of this present administration, which of course is clearly profanity, isn't it? Even without the swear words. It's outrageous. Which leads to my sermon topic, profanity, specifically pious profanity. I remember being a Methodist Sunday school kid in the 1950s, and once a month we kids were forced to attend Big People's Church. And while the adults were busy sitting there surveying the wondrous cross, we little cherubs sat on the edge of our seats just waiting for the time to recite the Apostles' Creed. And when it came time to repeat the line, "He descended into hell," we all jumped on the word hell as loud as we could. Somehow you could say hell in church on a Sunday, the least likely place you would expect, even though you'd get a mouthful of soap on a weekday. Now, on the other hand, how many political campaigns start off by asking for God's blessing on the candidate, the platform, the whole works, no matter whether it's corrupt or good? Oh God, please bless this Watergate cover-up, this Iran-Contra-Gate cover-up, this January 6th cover-up, this ICE murder. And Lord, please, I pray, don't let me get caught or indicted. Amen. Aren't the words of politicians just as profane as the words of the cussing kid with the soap in his mouth? Or more so? I was not born a saint. I became one much later in life. Thank you, Jolyn. And I was not always a minister. Someplace in between, I spent 4 years in the Navy, and I can testify that sailors have a reputation for a salty vocabulary, sprinkled with 4-letter words. But I can also say that such language is not necessarily the sign of bad or depraved character. These cussers were comrades of mine who would lay down their lives for me and for others, for you. Cussing is often simply the sign of an illiterate vocabulary, or more likely has to do with the folks that one hangs around with. Which reminds me, I miss the old Tri-UU golf group. In 1962, a thoughtful preacher named E.S. Hereen offered a theological definition of the word profanity from a Christian perspective, not UU, of course. He didn't focus on cuss words. He wrote, "Profanity is any word or attitude which cheapens the picture of God given to us by Jesus." Profanity is any word or attitude which cheapens the picture of God given to us by Jesus. And I kind of like it. It's serviceable. In On Golden Pond, did young Billy's use of the word bullshit cheapen the picture of God given to us by Jesus? My church lady took offense at it, but I think her sensitivity to the word was not religiously based. It was culturally and societally based. She'd been conditioned to respond that way. Cuss word, yes. Profanity, no. It blocked her from seeing that scene's powerful relationship shift between the kid and the curmudgeon. What I really liked about Hereen's phrase is that it suggests what's honestly profane is that which violates a person's professed moral standard. In Hereen's case, the picture of God, let's call it the moral center for him, the picture of God given to the disciples and Hereen by Jesus is that of a loving, compassionate creator, one holding, according to Scripture, a special preference, not so much for the rich and the powerful, progressive theologians use the word empire, but for the poor and the disadvantaged and the disabled and the disenfranchised and the looked down upon, the cast aside, the spat upon, the suffering, the oppressed, the different, the strangers in a strange land. For someone professing that they care about that population along with God, to violate it would be profanity, wouldn't it? So Hereen has a good point. A word comes to mind, hypocrisy, professing one thing and practicing another. Jonathan Edwards was the famous congregational preacher of the early 1800s who led what was called the First Great Awakening in Massachusetts. His best-known sermon was titled, "Sinners at the Hands of an Angry God." In it, Edwards offered his congregation these words, coming from a minister. "The God who holds you over the pit of hell, much as one holds a spider or other loathsome insect, hates you and is dreadfully provoked. He looks upon you as worthy of nothing but to be cast into the fire and burned." Well, doesn't that kind of cheapen the image of God that Jesus gave his followers and supposedly gave to Reverend Edwards? I'd like to think that if I had been in those pews for Jonathan Edwards' tongue lashing, I'd have risen from my pew and headed for the door, mumbling, "Bullshit, man. I call bullshit." If we hold in one hand those words from the pulpit about an angry, human-hating God, while holding in our other hand the outraged parishioner's response, bullshit, which utterance is profanity? The preacher's words or the dissenting parishioner's language employed to call out the pious profanity? Well, we UUs, we're not stuck with Hereen's Christian definition. We have our own measuring sticks. We have our 7 principles. We have recently added our 6 shared values. I just note 3 of them here. We assert pluralism, declaring that we are all sacred human beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We assert justice, declaring we will work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all feel welcome and can thrive. We assert equity, and we declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity and love and compassion. In the end, our UU values are not so different from E.S. Herin's stated in that picture of God given by Jesus. For us UUs, that which goes against our stated principles and values might be described as pious profanity. So back to Golden Pond and my church lady. As a pastor who served both UU and progressive Christian congregations, I feel moved to declare that you don't cure that kind of profanity by washing mouths out with soap, nor by giving English classes to sailors and soldiers and tri-UU golfers. I say profanity is not a matter of vocabulary. It's a matter of faith, or values, or justice, or fairness, or morality, or humanity. Pick your word. I'm not arguing there's no such thing as verbal profanity. We have words that demean and degrade and hurt people. They really are profane, but even here there's confusion. Let's say I finish preaching and I walk down off the podium here, tripping on the steps and falling down, which is probably likely. I'm not allowed to say hell. Oh no, can't say hell, but it's okay for me to say hickory or hemoglobin or Huckabee or Hannity or Hegseth. With all the fire and venom of an angry man beating his dog, or your dog. It's funny, isn't it, how we human beings can fool even ourselves, play the mind games? Well, the problem for me, and I hope for you, is not profanity of the four-letter kind, but the worst kind, pious profanity, the kind that dares to use religion to legitimize itself. Ever hear people focus on a tragedy and suggest fatalistically, yeah, it's sad, but I guess it was the will of God. Blatant, but it's in our headlines every day. Texas flood kills 50, 27 from girls' camp swept away, missing. Hurricane devastates western North Carolina. India air crash kills all aboard except one who walks away. Some people read about these natural disasters or accidents, what insurance policies call acts of God. And with resignation, they declare, of course it was a tragedy, but it must have been the will of God. The implication being that God is all-powerful and controls everything. It's also a fatalism that says, I can't do anything about it. 9 blacks slain at Charleston, South Carolina Bible study. 26 dead in Vivaldi, Texas church shooting, dozens wounded. Orlando, Pulse nightclub shooting, 49 dead. 49. 2 Minnesota lawmakers dead in targeted assassination, 3rd wounded. Are all those the will of God? Why did God save the one airline passenger and one legislator, but allow the others to die? Or save these students over those students? That sure cheapens the picture of God given by Jesus, and it hurts my UU principles and values, pious profanity. Even worse, our thoughts and prayers are with them. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. We hear it every time there's a mass shooting. Well, hell's bells, I call bullshit, man. Not acting for change when you can, that's pious profanity. It's easy to see pious profanity when the headline reads, Mike Huckabee threatens to call down fire and lightning from the heavens on the Supreme Court over gay marriage verdict. Ted Cruz, Pat Robertson, and Kentucky County Clerk Kim Davis agree. That idiocy, that was one headline, by the way, that idiocy fairly jumps off the page or off the Fox News report, and it slaps you in the face, doesn't it? But how about these headlines? Counter-protesters killed, dozens injured at Charlottesville white supremacist rally to save Confederate statues. President refuses to condemn white supremacy movement, says good people on both sides. Alligator Alcatraz, built for illegals, floods during this week's storms. Prez signs big beautiful bill, millions lose health care. DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, references removed from government and Pentagon websites. My African-American son-in-law served in 4 U.S. wars. He now finds no reference to his older relative, a World War II Tuskegee Airmen at the government websites, or to any heroes who were people of color. My Navy nurse sister, who served in the Vietnam era, notes that references to women veterans have been removed from Pentagon websites. My gay and lesbian friends have found that all references to gay and lesbian military heroes have been deleted so that only white, straight male soldiers and sailors are mentioned now. One of the first scripture passages to grab me was Jesus healing a lame man on a Sabbath day, simply because he needed healing. That was enough reason. The religious mucky-mucks and the teachers of the law condemned Jesus for doing it, pointing out that it was religiously illegal to heal someone on a Sabbath day. Well, I guess Jesus advocated health care for all, especially the poor, as needed. But the current administration is wrecking health care, seeks to criminalize much of women's sexuality-related health care, and is anti-science in setting back the clock on vaccinations. They've also damaged or forced closure of rural health programs and hospitals. Jesus not only healed, but fed people on a Sabbath day. Our so-called leaders today, who were elected to care about and for us and our people, have cut food assistance programs and school lunch programs. A Boston University study estimated that 300,000 to 500,000 lives have already been lost in Africa and elsewhere, thanks to an America First administration pulling funding for long-established USAID programs that offered life-saving vaccines to the poorest and most vulnerable. Jesus said to welcome the strangers in a strange land, embrace the immigrants and those in distress. But we've begun rounding them up in 25 and 26 using masked, unidentified, jackbooted stormtroopers who brutalize them, most innocent of any crimes, while denying habeas corpus rights, then whisking away the illegally detained to Alcatraz or some third country in Africa where they don't even know the language or the customs or the culture or anything, like abandoning them on the moon without spacesuits or an air supply. For Christ's sake, people, and I use those words intentionally. Many people say that uttering such a phrase is profanity. For Christ's sake, people, change it to humanity's sake if you need to. While some of us are still clucking our tongues and tut-tutting cuss words, honest to God, pious profanity is going on all around the world, the real world. The Jesus of history and other spiritual leaders past and present are begging us to confront it. People in the No Kings rallies and the anti-ICE protests have put their bodies on the line because they know what pious profanity is. And it isn't the words damn and hell. Pious profanity is staring us in the face. Fascism eroding democracy. The mob boss and his yes men and yes women replacing elected politicians who used to be answerable to a moral standard and answerable to the citizens who elected them to help the whole country, not just the few. There's a parallel moral argument to E.S. Hereen's Christian argument. We see those professing to uphold the Constitution and then not doing it, evidenced every single day by the present administration and its enablers. You and I know what true profanity is. We have our Christian or our UU or our Jewish or our Muslim or Hindu or humanist values and principles, and we know that we cannot stand back and let evil run rampant. Folks, our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren don't need vocabulary lessons or soapy mouth-washings as much as they need critical thinking skills, clear minds, and justice-filled outlooks on life. I may not be able to state exactly what it is our kids and our grandkids do need, but it's certainly not a distorted view that promotes pious profanity, not a view that looks at the afflicted and the evils of the world and says, must be the will of God or whomever, whatever. So this month, 19 days after the 5th anniversary of the January 6th Capitol insurrection, it's hard to see justice and freedom and independence, isn't it? I find my mouth overflowing, gushing, spitting out a stream of expletives. Jolin, too. Because I am fueled by outrage, overcome by so many headlines and so much politically spewed pious profanity. Well, I call it bullshit. Bullshit, man, bullshit. Just pass me that damn cuss box now, and on Monday I'll hit the bank for a giant sack of quarters. I promise I will. Make it 2 sacks, 1 for each hand, and I'll look like that rich guy with the handlebar mustache from the Monopoly game. Thank you for giving me the freedom of this, our UU pulpit today. As always, it's been an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure.
Final hymn is 170, We Are Gentle. 170. The words will be up here.
This comes from our first grade president, who was famed America. The foolish and wicked practice of profane cursing and swearing is a vice so mean and low, without any temptation, that every man of sense and character detests and despises it.
Thank you, India. Perfect. We are running a little late today. I am going to ask for introductions of any new people, if you'd like to stand and tell us who you are. And I think we will not do reflections. You'll have to grab Steve and Jolene after the service. But before we have that, one other thing. I think Jan, where are you, Jan? There she is. I think you have something to say, don't you, Jan?
Oh, thought it was gonna be after benediction, but sure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Could you two stand, please? Thank you. Get the Well, wow. It's with great joy and sadness that I come to you today with a little token of our appreciation. The joy is we have had these lovely people with us seasonally for many, many years, and they brought their talents and their good humor and their loving kindness for our congregation, and so that's a joy. And Steve and Jolene said they're coming back next year for a couple months, so we'll see them again. This is not goodbye. This is not goodbye. This is sort of see you again. See you later. See you later. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Until we meet again.
Am I supposed to open this now or what?
No, it's up to you. It's up to you. I will now do introductions. Helene? Okay. Is there anyone who would like to introduce themselves and here for the first or second time? Yeah. Wait for a microphone, please. Sorry.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's
My
working.
name is Pat Morrill, and I'm a guest of Marianne Hume, and I am a lifelong Unitarian. My mother found out about Unitarianism in Time magazine just before I was born, and they went to the church in Winchester, Massachusetts, and decided that was their home. So I'm delighted to be here today.
There's been a request that since Steve doesn't have to go to Eustis or anything, that some people said that they really did want to have feedback if Steve is open to it.
Okay. We'll take that now, and if anyone has to leave for some reason, feel free to, but we'll take a few questions and let Steve answer, and then we'll have our benediction, okay? That work? Pardon? Yeah, after your questions.
Roger,
Wait for a microphone.
okay, I have one here. My name is Luis.
It's not working.
Sorry, Roger, okay?
Oh, Roger's online?
Yeah.
No. Roger Cooper always says that the speakers hit it out of the park. Well, let me speak for Mike Donato and Dick Bassett and Jerry Schlosser that you hit it way down the fairway and it's in the cup. So we really thank you for that.
I'm going to be brief in the interest of time. All I can say to Steve is, hell yes. And I'll say the same to Liz.
I'm Marcia Schlosser, and I'm so pleased that Parrot Jerry's sitting right here in the front row, and he's giggling somewhere, Steve. He would have loved it. Thank you so much.
Hi there. I am Fran Toll, and I am actually a neighbor, a friend, and love to hear Steve speak. Very knowledgeable person, and also Jolyn. And I love all of his far out funky books that he's written. They are very interesting and creative. And I truly believe, I have to say, that Jesus was a liberal. Amen. And so all those other people who are going the other direction, who believe in Jesus, shame, because he preached love. And he loved the fellow human, any form of us. And I just can't believe, I don't know what the government has invoked upon all these people of anger and hate, but we here love, peace, and hope for a better life. And I will so miss Steve and Joel in our neighborhood. Our neighborhood will not ever be the same until they come back. And I love you both.
I think Howard wants to get the last word here. Oh, Jan's going to get next.
Sorry, no, I don't want the last word. But I took my 10-year-old grandson to a No Kings rally this fall. I cleared it with his parents because, and he loved the characters and the frog costumes and the bunny costumes. And then there were lots of "fuck Trump" signs. And then I thought, oh, I forgot about that. So I said, oh, you don't have to look at those signs. And he goes, oh, no, I get that. I said, do you know what that word is? Yeah. I said, well, why are they saying that? And he goes, he's evil, and that's the best word to use.
4-letter word. Shall we give Howard the last chance here? Last word.
I'm Howard Roberts, and I am delighted to have been here through several of the years that Steve and Jolyn have been here. It's been great to develop friendship with a colleague in ministry. And I was reminded as you were talking about one of my heroes and writers, Will Campbell, in another resistant age in the 1960s during the civil rights situation. There was a program on television called the $64,000 Question. And a Catholic priest won that contest. And he was asked what he was going to do with the money. And he said he was going to give half of it to the NAACP. Will Campbell was the chaplain at Ole Miss University. And he had already invited that priest to come to speak at Ole Miss Chapel. And the president of the university invited Will into his office the next day and said, that priest is not coming here. And Will Campbell said, the hell he's not. And he came, and Will Campbell lost his job. Will Campbell also wrote that he had two grandfathers. One was a minister, and one was a farmer. He said, one taught me how to cuss, and the other one taught me how to pray. And I'm not sure which one helped me the most.
Let me put this back down here where I can speak. Howard will be talking to us in a few weeks, so we'll look forward to seeing him back again.
February 6th.
We will now have our benediction, and then we will have our postlude, and then we can have breakfast.
I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, a hug around the neck, and a barrel and a heap, a barrel and a heap, and I'm talking in my sleep about you, about you. 'Cause I love you, a bushel and a peck, you bet your pretty neck I do. Doodle doodle doodle, doodle doodle doodle, doodle 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 doo. I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and you make my heart a wreck, you make my heart a wreck, and you make my life a mess, you make my life a mess, yes, a mess of happiness about you. about you. 'Cause I love you, a bushel and a peck. You bet your pretty neck I do. A doodle doodle doodle, doodle doodle doodle, doodle 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 doo.
And I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and it beats me all to heck. It beats me all to heck how I'll ever tend this farm, when I long to keep my arms around you, around you. 'Cause I love you, a bushel and a peck. You bet your pretty neck I do. A doodle doodle doodle, a doodle doodle doodle, a doodle 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 do.
And we love you, try you, a bushel and a peck, and a hunk around the neck, a hunk around the neck, and a barrel and a heap, a barrel and a heap, and we're talking in our sleep about you.
Try you,
Try you,
try you.
'cause we love you, a bushel and a peck, you bet your pretty necks we do. A doodle doodle doodle, doodle doodle doodle, doodle 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 doo.
Try you.
A doodle doodle doodle, doodle doodle doodle, doodle 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 doo.
We love you, try you.
And enjoy a bagel breakfast with us in the back of the room. And those on Zoom will be open, the Zoom room will be open for 20 minutes.